Beta.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Openly Beta.
Yeah,
We talked about an MMO on the last episode.
the best one ever.
It was Jack's new idea, Horizon Robot World,
Horizon Robot World.
a spin-off branch from the Horizon series, and it was an MMO version of it.
Yeah,
And now it's my turn to talk about a brand new MMO, which I think is extremely logical, and I cannot believe it hasn't been done. It hasn't existed yet. It's like the developers are screaming that they want to make it. Anyway, if you didn't watch the last episode, this will be a PowerPoint presentation which we poured hours of effort into, hours of
Oh, yeah.
time, and yeah, Jack's probably going to be critiquing me throughout.
oh yeah,
And
definitely.
I'm going to try and
harshly.
make a pitch for what I think. I think will be a amazing MMO. Without further ado, I am going to now present to you a new MMO to take the world by storm. You know it.
Yeah,
You love it.
yeah. Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition.
Xenoblade Chronicles. Ladies and gentlemen, this game, this incredible franchise of 3 games, it's like every game from 1 to X to 2, there
Yeah.
have been more and more MMO-like, especially X actually. There've been more and more MMO-like. It's like the developers want to make an MMO, but they haven't been able to yet. We've had Xenoblade Chronicles X, which I'm not going to go too much into it, but that game is so it's like an MMO. It is basically an MMO,
Okay.
but there are not multiple people. It's not an MMO. It's a single player adventure. But there are so many things that are so similar to MMOs where it's like they just need to like rejig stuff and blah blah, and this could be so good. We're not talking about Xenoblade Chronicles
So,
X
so what am
today.
I seeing here? This. Okay, yeah. You are putting it in the bin. Is this slide particularly highlighting that you're recycling elements from Xenoblade Chronicles?
There's
Blah, 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 blah?
there's definitely going to be. I mean, realistically, if Monolith Soft are going to make this MMO, they're going to want to recycle a lot of elements from
Okay.
Xenoblade Chronicles X.
There's some good visuals here then, good imagery.
But also, it's kind of just going in the bin because we're not talking about Xenoblade Chronicles X today. Today, introducing Xenoblade Chronicles Z,
Oh my.
the MMO.
I didn't name mine before the presentation, which is how we ended up with Horizon Robot World. So this definitely puts the ball in your court.
The ball's in my court. We're going to talk all about Beautiful Worlds. Xenoblade Chronicles has some of the best environmental design of any game I've played. It is so if you can like see through the couple of 100 pixels on your screen, it is like the most awesome world of any game that I've personally ever played. Okay,
Yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles 1, you're on this gigantic creature called the Bionis, and it's all biological. And then the other one is a giant, it's called Mechonis, and it's all mechanical. And you get to like, there's like fields on their arms, and there's like cities on the top of their heads,
So it's all like floating in the sky sort of thing.
floating in the sky. It's called
That
the
appeals to
Cloud
me.
Sea in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is where I personally think they should draw the most inspiration from
Yeah.
for their environments. So it's set in a world called the Cloud Sea, and in the Cloud Sea there are lots of titans, and they are basically different biomes set on the backs of gigantic creatures. One of the creatures, the world actually takes place inside it. It's amazing. So you can see in this picture here, this is the first, I can't remember the names of the places now, it's been a while, but this is the first opening area that you go to in Xenoblade 2, and that mountain is the head of the creature that you're on, and it like
Very cool.
occasionally just turns around and looks at you and then moves back. So pretty.
Very nice.
The main thing about having these different biomes is that the expansion potential is endless.
Yeah.
So you can just imagine, you can literally just have, for an expansion, one day another Titan appeared. That's it. Like, that's all you need to do,
Yeah.
and it'd be completely in the lore. You could also have Titans that you can see walking around in the distance that you can't go on, and maybe have them accessible later. Like, imagine if, there's an event, and like 1 week, there's this random week that this Titan appears, and everyone can see it, and then it disappears, and everyone's online saying, "Hey, what was that? Like, can we go on that? No." And then a few months' time, paid expansion. Nintendo goes, "Pay up, boys! You want to get on that Titan? £30." So that's
very cool. Would everyone start off on? Would everyone start off on the same Titan, or is it you choose where you start, or you choose a certain character that starts on a certain Titan?
That's a good question, actually. I like that. I hadn't actually considered that, and I think it would make the most sense.
That's what the pitch meeting's all about, Jamie.
Yeah. Well, I think what would happen is you'd start off on different beasts, Titans, depending on what race you chose.
Fair.
Because in the game, the races all live on different Titans.
Okay.
And then you would have a central story, which would eventually you'd have like your starting quests on your own Titan.
Yeah.
And then when you get to a certain level, you then start the main quest.
Yeah.
In which all the players follow the same
kind of
route.
a World of Warcraft system, where you start in your race's starting area, and then you can kind of go out.
Because I think that works the best from a lore perspective. It's quite nice, and also it kind of helps.
Makes the world feel more alive in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it spreads out the levels of people. You don't have like, this Titan for whatever reason is full of level 70 creatures.
Yeah.
It will have a range of levels on there. The next slide. So the game would also get a lot of anime booby points. Now,
it would, because it's a Japanese MMO.
It's not just Japanese. It's Xenoblade Chronicles. Look at that. This
is from Xenoblade Chronicles.
This is a screenshot from Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah.
This is a particularly
egregious example.
Yeah, there's a lot of internet rage about this. Xenoblade 1 had like one chesty character, and that character wasn't even. It was like normal. It was like, because clearly big boobed people do exist.
Yeah, they were filling the quota.
But this is just funny.
So will I be able to create this character?
No. So this is actually a picture of a summon. They're called blades. But I just think it's worth mentioning that the game, most MMOs don't dare give a lot of booby points away. But Xenoblade unabashedly will just throw out their booby points left, right, and centre, and I think that deserves an honourable mention. Exactly. You boot up Horizon, and it's like, okay, robots, breasts. No, thank you, says Sony.
A reasonably armoured, strong female character.
You've got gacha. So this game is Xenoblade 2. It's full. It's full. If you want, it's entirely optional.
Yeah.
But it's full of gacha, right? There's these things called core crystals, and you get one, and you can see it. They have different rarities. You open it up, and you roll a dice, and you might get a really cool blade. You might get a really crappy one.
Okay.
And full of opportunity for microtransaction hell.
Yeah.
Which is great.
That was going to be my next question. How pay to win are we going with the gacha?
So, in an ideal world, none.
Extremely.
Because the Xenoblade 2 didn't have any microtransactions. It was just gacha for the sake of it. Of course, in my ideal MMO, I want people to be nickeled and dimed all over the place. I want to go onto the MMO and it comes up with a screen before I even know who I am. I want. Do you want to? You can if you buy 99 core crystals right now, you're gonna get a free ultra rare one thrown in for free.
That's a quick way of making money.
It's a quick way of making money.
Yeah.
It fuels your gambling addiction. Makes you want to come. You know, there'll be dailies. You know, if you log in every day, you get a free common one. If you log in every day of the week, hey, they'll throw in a rare, absolutely free.
I like it.
No, that would be the Xenoblade MMO hell, if it went free to play. Which this is in my ideal world, this is a subscription based model.
Yeah.
But if they decided to do that, that is absolutely how they would monetize it.
You wouldn't even blame him at that point. It would have to be.
Yeah. I will say though that it is actually quite addictive and fun. If you're not paying for it, it's like really, it's just a thing to collect. Like, you know, you beat all the content on the MMO, and that's something that you can do, I guess. So unlike stinky robot world,
I see.
in Xenoblade Chronicles,
Yeah,
we've got tons of playable races, right?
Yeah, you've got 4 humans and a troll doll.
Okay, that is not 4 humans, and I'm gonna run through it.
Hit me.
So this character.
Yeah.
Now, bear in mind, I can't remember any of these freaking people, right? But we've got cat people.
Yeah.
Notice the ears.
Very popular.
Cat people. They've got tails. They've got little like tattoos. I think they're like birthmarks. We have bird people. So they've got little feathers. That's not her hat. That's actually her head has actual feathers on, right?
Could have fooled me, but fair.
No, well, you're racist. This guy, forgive me, I can't even remember the name of the race. I can't remember the name of most of them. But that's actually a robot, completely mechanical from Mechonis.
That's a cool robot.
Disagree heavily. Very cool robot. Much cooler than any dinosaur, anyway. So yeah, these guys, and then you've got the Nopon. I can remember the Nopon. He's funny.
You remember the name of the Nopon? The question is, how do you stop people from playing exclusively as the Nopon or the cat people?
The more there are, the more expensive your subscription fee is.
Okay, fair.
And then on the right we have a human.
Yeah.
But they're not called humans. They're called homs. Plenty of races from the get-go, you know. So we've got classes here, right? Now I was doing a bit of research, and I haven't actually played Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Okay.
I was doing a bit of research and thinking, oh, what could the classes be? Because in the other 2 games, you have tank, DPS, and heal, and then they're split into like subcategories, which already sounds like an MMO. But Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is the most MMO-ish. Look at this list. That's all the classes you can be. Look at that.
Yeah.
Full Metal Jaguar.
I was literally about to point out Full Metal Jaguar.
I don't know anything about this, but tell me you don't want to be a partisan eagle. I mean, what is that?
I want to be a winged viper. I mean, a lot of these sound like robots from my game.
Yeah, well, they're robots from your game if they were actually good.
A mastermind sounds very interesting.
We've got
like a nerdy university student.
Yes, that's just a nerd. That's a mage. Here we've got Yugi. You basically just play cards.
Very nice. Underneath that, you've got a Star Wars character, Shield Trooper.
Shield Trooper. Yeah, so
you can play as Arnold Schwarzenegger and choose Commando.
You've actually just got like a copy paste. They don't even have to put any effort in. They just need to just copy paste from this game.
Enforcer could just be a tax collector.
So you have numbers.
You do indeed have numbers.
Everyone knows that MMOs are full of numbers, right?
Yeah.
It all amounts to just pressing buttons on your keyboard.
Numbers are important.
Numbers are important. Yeah. So we've got all sorts of stats down here. But notice That is this one I'm circling.
Yeah.
Now,
Auto attack.
auto attack. It's almost like they've already got an auto attack MMO system built into the game before they've even made the game. All these words here, really, these are all MMO terms. The critical block rate. You don't have block rate and auto attack rate in anything really except for an MMO. So the developers can put more effort into anime boobies. So I don't think I've mentioned this before, but this game also has anime booby points.
I'm especially disturbed by the image on the right.
This is screenshots from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is a genuinely great game. But then they have this incredibly awkward scene where it's like, now all the characters have a bath. And it's just like, okay.
So how many of those will there be in the MMO?
So there'll be a bath in every main district.
You have to pay for those scenes.
Yeah, if you've got a premium subscription, you'll be able to access them.
That's what gacha unlocks you.
It's the same scene every time, just different backdrop. But
oh man, if we both pitched our ideas side by side, you'd win on this.
well, I've got anime booby points left, right, and center. You know, so I've already touched on this.
Yeah.
But here's a screenshot of the battle system.
Yeah.
Now, tell me that doesn't look like an MMO already.
This currently looks like an MMO with 3 people in a party fighting a creature.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious because you can't even, in the game, you can't even control the other characters in like a single combat instance. So down here you've got the attacks.
Yeah.
But you can see how that could just be expanded and spread out this way.
Have all
and
the
then
numbers.
that's what's happening right now is that there's auto attacks.
Yeah.
And then, so the game, I'm not saying that this will be the same for the MMO,
Yeah.
but in the game, it's kind of rhythm based. So when your character reaches a certain point of their animation, of their auto attack, it like briefly shines blue, and you know at that moment in their animation, you can then launch one of these attacks here.
Yeah.
And so basically, it turns into a rhythm game because the auto attack has the same kind of beat going on, and so you press these attacks to get more power every time you get to that certain point in animation.
That's cool.
And then every weapon has a different animation, so every character is unique.
Have different rhythm.
A different rhythm.
That's
and
cool.
so you can see, how it. Sorry.
No, I was going to say that differentiates it from other MMOs somewhat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also differentiating it is the, I think it's something like break, topple, launch system, and basically you can totally see it working in an MMO.
Okay.
And the game as a system, I'll explain the system.
Yeah.
The system makes sense in the context of an MMO. It's absolute garbage in the game, and it's hilarious. It's like so
the game would be better if it was an MMO already.
Yes, it actually would be. Okay, so you've got these moves, which basically they give a status effect onto the monster.
Yeah.
And some characters don't even have access to the ability to do that, right? So you have this thing and it comes up and they glow purple. And then someone has this ability which might have a green attribute attached to it, which topples them, which basically adds a paralysis effect to them.
Yeah.
And then they go green. And then if they're green, another character might have an ability which launches them, and so then they're launched. But it can only happen in that order. So what happens is that in the game the AI is trash, and you basically, if you've got a character who only has access to that first step, the other AI characters just, they don't do anything. Like, they don't progress it along. They don't see, oh, it's purple, therefore I must now do a green attack.
Yeah.
They just don't. But in an MMO, people would know how to play the game.
Yeah. No, yeah, I can see it working. Bit of
Anyway.
cooperation.
It's a damn good story. What can I say? The story of Xenoblade Chronicles is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Is that
also,
the Poppins guys at the bottom left there?
they are Nopons.
Nopons. Oh,
Yeah, they're
I was close.
Nopons.
I reversed it.
I'm glad. That's actually pretty great that you remembered that.
They're very nice and small.
There's the overall end of the world storyline,
Yeah.
and then there's like this storyline that you don't realize, but then bubbles to the surface at the end, and it's amazing.
Mm.
You can just see multiple different regions of the world having their own completely separate story,
Yeah.
and it over like 10 years they like release expansions and it weaves together this crazy world,
Mm.
and it'd be so sick.
Very nice. So you would go for more of a world-ending sort of story overall.
The essence of Xenoblade is world ending. It's like
Yeah.
it's a combination of when you find out what the ending is,
Mm.
it couldn't be anything else.
Yeah.
And also it's very much like a very dramatic Saturday morning cartoon type vibe.
Fair.
It needs to be the end of the world. It has to be dramatic. That's the whole kind of thing. The game established with DLC that they have no problem completely breaking the law to do crossovers. So here we have Rex and Shulk, who are the protagonists of the two main games,
Yeah.
shaking hands. They exist in. They both exist in worlds that are in different dimensions, in different regions. Like not only different dimensions, they also they seal off. Their whole story is basically sealing off the ability to travel between dimensions.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they just post game can shake hands like that means they don't give a crap about a little bit of fan service sneaking in.
You can do anything with lore, basically.
You could actually wear Rex's armor, the guy on the right. That was actually a free DLC update for Breath of the Wild.
Oh, really?
There's a meteor strike that appears in Breath of the Wild, and you can wear his armor.
That's pretty cool. I can see that working in Breath of the Wild. You could even cross over with Horizon Robot World.
I think if when we're really rich and we've both started off new franchises, we definitely should consider that.
Yeah.
A good MMO has has a few side jobs that you can level up on the go as well.
I like this.
So in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the main character actually is they don't call him fisherman, but he's like I think they call him a diver.
Yeah.
And basically below the Cloud Sea is like tons of salvage stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes very valuable salvage stuff. And there's this whole community of divers who it's their job, they risk their lives by tethering themselves to the side of Titans.
Yeah.
And then just seeing what they can get in the depths of the Cloud Sea. That could be a whole little side job.
Yeah.
Fisherman.
I like that a lot. I think that's important for fleshing out the world.
I think so.
Yeah.
The only problem is that if there is a Xenoblade MMO, there wouldn't be a Cloud Sea because they get rid of it at the end of the game. Anyway, in the original game, there's a place called Colony 6.
Yeah.
It gets destroyed quite early on, and then throughout the rest of the game, there's like a constant ongoing side, like it's a huge like side quest chain of trying to rebuild it. I like the idea of having something like that in an MMO. So the only problem,
quite a big issue there.
I I realise that there are so many people who play MMOs on a console.
Yeah.
I appreciate that it's definitely doable.
Mm.
But firstly, I have absolutely no confidence at all in Nintendo's online ability to make online games.
I do not believe the Switch can handle whatever.
The Switch, as I've mentioned before, even the remake of Xenoblade Chronicles 1 was like a blurry mess. And this MMOs are text heavy. If you can't read the tiny little text on the screen, it's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
I joke though, because I'm sure the resolution of the text would be high res, but I don't know. For an MMO, I'd like to play it on PC because it's just more natural with keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
You can't.
I'd agree.
If you could do keyboard and mouse with the Switch, then that's a compromise that I would take.
Yeah.
But you can't.
They probably wouldn't implement that specifically for Xenoblade Chronicles Z.
You would hope, wouldn't you?
You would hope.
I do feel like Monolith Soft really want to make this into an MMO. I would.
Yeah.
That this is the thing. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if they did this. The only thing that's stopping them is Nintendo, in my opinion.
Well, then we have this video to back that up.
This is going straight to. I was going to say Reggie, but it's now Bowser.
The old Doug.
I'm sure the Switch is perfectly fine. I just don't. I think.
No, yeah, that's true.
I just don't think that Nintendo have the ability to host an MMO.
It's just Nintendo in general. Yeah, their online capabilities have always been a bit lacking, to say the least.
Like, can you? I can imagine it being the most awkward, painful thing ever.
Oh man, to like invite your friend to your server, you have to like send them a text on the Nintendo Life app with a special code that you receive through email. That was that. Is that the end?
That is the end of my presentation.
That is the end. That's the end of both of the presentations. Leave us a comment on both videos of which one you would prefer. We both went for relatively safe options, I feel.
Yeah.
I think mine's a bit more out there.
Oh, definitely.
You know, maybe a little advantage Jack team, but yours would definitely be the easiest to convert into the MMO format. So you've really got things to consider there.
I think that obviously I've got the advantage of I have Catwoman.
That's true.
Need I say more?
I have robots, giant robots, both pretty anime concepts.
Giant robots. One of the robots in my game is literally the size of a continent. I think my voice is really hurting now, by the way.
Yeah, it felt like more talking than usual for some reason.
It's because there was our own presentation. We both put a lot of passion into selling our ideas.
We were very passionate about each of those. I very much enjoyed yours. Thank you very much.
We comment on this video. Who won?
Yeah.
If you're watching this on YouTube.
Yeah.
Also, comment if you want to see another video like this again. If you don't comment, if we don't get any comments, we will 100% not be making any more of this type of content.
We're not going to make any more YouTube videos if we don't get any more comments.
Derek, I'm looking at you. You're the only person who's got to the end of this video. You better comment if you like it.
We're very bitter about the lack of comments you've been getting lately.
No, I mean it's just a fact. It's a fact of YouTube. It doesn't even matter if you're really big and famous or not.
Yeah.
99.99% of people do not stay for this pointless like chatter at the end of these sorts of videos.
Well, especially because it's been going on for 6 minutes.
There's just some guy who's put this on. He's like he's in his car. He's listening to his car, but he can't like go to the next thing. He's got like a playlist going of different podcasts.
The
Like,
skip button won't work. It's not properly
please
wired up.
finish this episode.